Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you very, very much for being here. So, I want to take a look today at Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney. Okay, and this is why. So, Adam was at the DNC. He made a lovely little speech, basically about, this is about saving democracy, and what did he say? Donald Trump has sucked the soul right out of the Republican Party. I paraphrased, but I think it was pretty close to that. Liz Cheney, on the other hand, has been sort of quiet, right? She's not supporting sort of anybody at this point. Certainly doesn't look like she's come out and endorsed anybody. So what's going on with them? I think sometimes because of the work they did on the January 6th committee, they're sort of afforded a bit of a um, they've sort of been viewed as not so bad, right? Not a typical Republican, not a MAGA. This is what you got to remember. All right, what they did was truly um, what they should have done. It's not like that they should be awarded medals for being part of an investigation that needed to look into an attempt to overthrow the government. Right? I mean, they don't get gold stars for that. And the fact that ultimately they ended up paying a political price for that, that is just an indicator of what has become of the Republican Party. But it's not, again, as if they should somehow be afforded some sort of an exalted position. I think that sometimes particularly in the last handful of years, it has been so difficult. And I think that sometimes if somebody who, um, you know, maybe was on the other side of the fence and they've done something, and we think, okay, well, they can't be that bad. We tend to really sprinkle gold dust on them or fairy dust, and we forget. Listen, both of these guys are red, red, red Republicans. Don't kid yourself. But what's their plan? Particularly Liz Cheney. I mean, is she going to create a new um, center right conservative party? Is she going to resurrect some of the traditional Republican ideas and try to create a new party? Because it's very, very likely that what you're going to end up having is sort of a deflated mega kind of party attitude, because some of those guys have gone so deep. And even though hypocrisy is like their middle names, um, some of them are not going to be so anxious to sort of let go of some of their perceived um, power or prestige or positions. I'm thinking like of the Jim Jordans and the Matt Gateses, and then, who were not going to be so quick to step away from the megas and the Trumps by extension, because, you know, for a lot of them, their voters are still going to be very, very entrenched in this attitude. And so they can't sort of start jumping all over the place. So they maybe end up, stuck in a mess of their own making. And again, that's fine. Like, really, that's fine. But what's going on with particularly Liz Cheney? I'm going to look at both of them, but I want to start with Liz and just see now, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, but she's moved, she's relocated. I think she's like in Wyoming or something. Like, she's somewhere very, very red. She's repositioned herself into a very red state. Um, let's take a look and see what's going on with her. Tell me about Liz Cheney. Tell me about Liz Cheney. Tell me about Liz Cheney. starting off with the Empress. So she really does see herself as somebody who um, has what it takes to become very much a leader within a new Republican um, party. She very much sees the Republican Party sort of splitting in two. And there are those who just follow Trump so closely that they stay in that space. But there is an idea of almost like over the next 4 years, 8 years, even there's this idea of a lot of the really dedicated Trump type people in Congress, whether that is in the House or the Senate. It feels like actually some of them are going to start getting challenged by sort of normal Republicans or what we used to think of as normal Republicans. And this feels like something that she's sort of up to, that she's got in the back of her head. It's like she's got a plan to to break the thing in two so that there can be a reestablishment, if you will, of sort of those real traditional Republican ideas. The thing that's sort of sad is that in a lot of ways, Republican ideas and or conservative ideas, and again, I don't care if it's the United States, it's Canada, it's the UK, it's France, or whatever. Those really tight, strict conservative ideas are really, really falling out of fashion. And energetically, they're not a good fit as, you know, we move forward, right? As we move into that sort of Aquarian energy, because that is about tearing down what didn't work and building new. And but the new building is sort of a reflection of the energy of the world, what's going on. And so a lot of those very sort of conservative ideas simply aren't going to fly. But for her, where she's at right now is she's keeping sort of quiet, and she's keeping a lot of her plans very, close to the vest, right? She's keeping a lot of things shielded. She doesn't trust a lot of people. She doesn't let a lot of people in. But she is working very, very hard behind the scenes. Um, Listen, she did not take kindly to the way she was treated and ultimately dismissed by her party. And there are some people that she very much feels that she has some scores to settle with. Um, because from her perspective, it's like they took her down at a point where her career actually should have been taking off. It should have been accelerating, and instead, she got knocked down, and she's not happy. She is not happy. But don't for a second think that she somehow become um, of the opinion that democratic values are the way to go, because she doesn't. Okay. Page of Cups. This actually feels as if there are um, almost like meetings going on, conversations that are taking place, but it very, very much feels like it's in its infancy. And what you're looking at is sort of intergenerational money, established money. So they're looking for donors who continue to uphold or believe in those really traditional values. And after Trump goes down in, a burning flame after the election, um, she's going to want to be looking for some of those people who still very, very much want the things that the billionaires want, but they've already by now completely soured on Trump. This is going to take longer than she thinks it will. It very much feels like it's a harder road going forward than I think she thinks it's going to be. And again, in part because sort of globally, the energy is shifting and changing. And a lot of those ideas and attitudes aren't really um, attractive, particularly to the younger generations, those people who are, 40, 45 and younger, um, do not, by and large, um, look at life the same way very conservative Republicans do. And so it's not going to be as easy as she thinks it is. I think she thinks that once Trump goes down, she's just going to be able to very easily just sort of, swoop in and put it all back together again. I don't think it's going to be that easy. And she has the hangman here, which is really suggesting that this is a situation where she's going to need to bide her time. And she's not looking at things as clearly as he perceives herself to be. And again, it's because she's not she's not reading the room, all right? She's not understanding the shift in energy, ideas, and attitudes. It's going to be a hard climb for her. I'm not saying she's not going to succeed. In fact, she's got the Queen of Wands here. She may very well. I just don't know that it's going to be incredibly successful. It's going to take Four of Wands. It's going to take a long time for the Republican Party, in whatever format or formats that looks like, to recover. They really are going to have a lot of hard work ahead of them. And there's going to be a lot of really defensive posturing because at some point they're going to have to try to explain what the hell they were thinking. And, there's only so much corruption, I guess, that, I don't know, it is willing to be overlooked. Let me say it that way. All right, let's take a look at Adam Kinzinger. Let's have something to say. Rick, tell me about Adam. Tell me about Adam. Tell me about Adam. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard very recently that he has relocated to Texas, which again would a very red state, right? Very conservative state. Let's see. Interesting. So the two of them, Liz and Adam, are not he's in a pod. All right. The energy of his parts are different. So we're starting here with the Eight of Wands for him, which is communications, right? It is the fact that he very definitely had a message at the DNC, the fact that he was even at DNC. He is seeing he's reading the room a little bit more easily. I suspect possibly because he's quite a bit younger. Um, but his message really sort of was genuinely, this is frightening. This is about, we're going to lose democracy if we're not careful. So his message was um, it was very important to him. It was very important that he tried to reach out and sort of attract the attention of, never Trumpers, independent people who maybe have supported Trump in the past and are just getting sick and tired of being sick and tired of him. So his message was different and a little bit more well received. He also, I mean, he recognizes that there's a lot of work to do, but make no mistake, he very much still holds very, very conservative views. I do remember him talking about, and this was sort of shortly, I guess, after the J6 committee wrapped up. And he was saying that, in fact, he's lost a lot of his family members. They think he's a traitor, and they thought that the fact that he was on that committee was horrible. Um, so he's, I think, on some level more conscious or aware of some of the repair work that's going to need to be done, and how much of it is going to need to be done. He is more likely to um, take a softer approach. I didn't say an approach like Democrats. I just said a softer approach. Don't get confused. He still very much holds to those traditional Republican values, but he has been able to step back and objectively look at some of the things that have gone on in the Republican Party. And he recognizes the the damage that they did. And this is beyond Trump. This actually surprisingly even is connected to things like the abortion issue. As far as energetically, from what I can tell, his attitude was more like they should have just left it alone. Right now, 85% of the country is furious with us. And so he had a slightly different take on things. Um, but he also is very clear about the fact that, it's money that makes the world go round. It's those donators. It is, the billionaires. It's the very moneyed people who um, he needs to sort of bring under his wing. You know what? It's interesting. He doesn't. It feels as if he doesn't actually have. Um, it's like his ambitions are not quite the same. Like, I almost see him looking at a governorship, and whether that's in Texas, maybe down the line, he thinks he can get rid of Adams. No, what's his name? Oh my God, what's that guy's name? Abbott in Texas. Um, but he still has a great deal of clarity about, what side his bread is buttered on. All right. Um, but he will be more moderate, and he has some clarity about some of the things that were done that just wasn't really smart, right? Even things like trying to strip away benefits or entitlements that people have, like, Medicare, Medicaid, social insurance. He has a sort of a softer approach, not and in some ways he is where Liz Cheney is sort of kind of crafty. I don't want to use the word sneaky, but he is more it's sort of open and above board. So he's very much more clear-eyed about where the Republican Party, particularly under Trump, where they really crossed the line. And so his sort of approach is to bring temperance back, is to bring balance back, to let people know that his ideas are not such harsh judgments. Um, and that he wants things to be a little bit more balanced. He doesn't want to see all this incredible division within the country. And that basically, from what I can see, is very genuine. But when it comes right down to it, again, it's going to be a matter of whether he he can bend enough so that he's attractive. And listen, this is the thing. It's not like 10 years down the road from now or 12 years down the road from now, you're going to have like 85% of the United States running around being, Democrats or being, left leaning independents. You're still going to have a Republican base. It's just a question of whether they're going to be a mega base or they're going to be a Republican base. And so what I'm getting from both of their energy is that there really is this attempt to sort of create a more normalized, if you will, Republican base going forward. Um, the question, the trick is going to be whether or not they um, are able to move with the energies, and if by doing so, they once again become attractive to, the Republicans out there that sort of, plug their nose and vote for a Democrat. Um, yeah, I don't know. I keep seeing a governor around Adam. Whereas with Liz, I very much see sort of almost like a party leader. She wants to be sort of queen of the party, or she wants to be viewed as one of the originators of this new and improved party. Okay, that's where we're at. Um, don't forget to include your questions for Pendulum Friday. I haven't been saying that this week, but you guys know how to do that. So, questions for Pendulum Friday in the comment section below. And thank you very, very much for your time and your attention and your support. And all of it is amazing. And I so appreciate it. All right. Until next time, take care and be well. Bye bye for now.